Hello ladies, my name is Sherry Kumar of thegoddessprinciples.net, and today I wanted to talk to you about my favorite topic, dating younger men. This is something that I feel very, very passionate about, and something that I discovered after my divorce roughly 60 years ago, and has been an absolute adventure for me. And one of the things I really love hearing about is from other women who've also discovered how amazing and how much fun and how much energizing it is to date younger men. One of the things that was so disheartening to me right after my divorce was that a lot of my more traditional girlfriends were telling me how horrible dating was going to be for a woman my age. At the time I was 37, my late 30s. And they were, scaring me, giving me scare stories about, what the men are like in my age group. And the general consensus from the pessimists was that all the good men are married, they're already taken, and what's left are the older, bald, disgruntled ones who've been divorced a couple of times, that I have to get used to the idea of dating men who are maybe 10 years my senior. And to me that was just very, very depressing. I would rather have just not dated at all. Luckily, I discovered that with a positive attitude, that's simply not true. One of the first people I dated was about 8 years younger than me. And ever since then, I really have been dating mostly younger men. I think I went out on one date with a guy who was 5 years older than me, and I just couldn't even relate to it. I know that the age difference wasn't huge. At the time I was 37, he was 42, but the whole the experience of dating somebody who had a more traditional attitude, who had a little bit lower energy than me, slightly more pessimistic about life, was looking to settle down and get married a little too soon, while I was eager to start exploring dating and have an adventure. So that one experience of dating a slightly older man just did not suit me. But what did suit me was really dating a guy who was 8 years younger than me. And after that, pretty much everybody I've met or dated or been in a relationship with has always been younger. And I'm a very firm believer that that's actually very, very healthy for women, because it's very empowering. Knowing that a younger man is interested makes us feel desirable, sexy, beautiful, attractive. It's all very good for our egos. It's all very good for having a positive mental attitude. And I also wanted to dispel some notions about dating younger men. And I think most of these ideas come from either older guys who are now competing for us, or from older women who have been married for decades and simply believe that a younger man is not smart or not intelligent, doesn't have the life experience that an older man has, and that the relationship will be automatically superficial with a younger man. My experience has been the opposite, and the experience of most of my friends who have been dating younger men has been the opposite. As a matter of fact, I have a lot of older girlfriends who are in their 50s, 60s. One is even close to 80, and they're thrilled, absolutely thrilled, dating younger men. They've discovered something that they never knew was possible before. They feel beautiful, they feel empowered, they feel alive again. And I actually think that relationship is very, very natural. Women mature a little bit earlier than men growing up. And I think today, especially, we have all these options. We have multiple choices. We're highly educated. We're professional. We make our own money. Gone are the days when women had to be in relationships with or marry men for their stability, their security, for financial security. In the old days, we always were told you have to meet a man who's intelligent, wise, financially stable, secure. But what happens when the woman is all that? I don't know any women who are not able to take care of themselves today. Today, we are the stable ones. Today, we are the financially secure ones. Today, we are the worldly ones. And who says we're not wise, you know? And so once you have all of those qualities that we formerly used to look for in men, I realized, you know, there's no reason to date older men anymore. You know, now I can use the word afford, but I can afford to date younger men. I can afford to date for my own pleasure. I can afford to date for my own amusement. I can afford to date for the adventure of it. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, historically, men have been the one who could date for their own pleasure. Very few men were concerned with meeting women or wives who have a PhD. We were always, you know, we would always be amused when a 60-year-old man would divorce his wife with a PhD, then go out and date a 20-year-old bimbo. In the man's world, that's perfectly acceptable. Well, guess what? We have reached that time in our lives and in our careers when we can actually do that. We don't need to worry about meeting a man who's financially stable. We can afford to date for a pleasure. We can afford to date for just for the fun of it, to experience life in a completely different way. So this actually, as I said, this is my favorite topic to talk about because I've benefited so much from dating younger men. And honestly, I can't even imagine dating someone older than me right now. And having gone through the process now for the past 6 years, I realized that a lot of those ideas that instruct women what the proper way to date is are just completely outdated. They're meant for a different generations, and they really don't apply to us at all. The people who are really the most disgruntled that women have so many options are really the older men. They're the ones who still believe that they're entitled to a younger woman. It's that 60-year-old divorcee who left his wife thinking he's now going to be dating 30-year-olds. He's the one who's finding that women in their 30s have no interest in him. They all want a man their own age, and why shouldn't they? They have careers, they have jobs, they have very, very exciting lives. And society and the world is changing. And I also see that a lot of women, once they actually try dating a younger man, they see that all those myths and are just completely dispelled. Younger men are not, they're not how they're portrayed to be. Just because he's younger doesn't mean he's not capable of a stable relationship. As a matter of fact, a younger man is much more likely to be better in a relationship, much more caring, much more giving, much more affectionate, because he grew up in an era where, in his generation, women are taught to be equal. Also, younger men, the advantage is that they start dating at a younger age these days, and they have much more experience with women than an older guy. Contrary to popular belief, the older guy, not that I've ever tried one, but what I've heard is, the older guys seem to think that they're God's gift to women, that they're all Don Juans, that they have skills. And these guys have been married for 30, 40 years. I hate to say it, but, they come from the generation where, their wives have probably been faking it for 30, 40 years. I know this sounds almost conceited to say, but, I find that the younger guys are very refreshing. They view women as their equals. They don't have very old-fashioned views about the proper role for a woman or how women should behave. They're very accepting, very accommodating of my lifestyle. They are, one of the things that I've noticed is that pretty much every guy I've dated, in the last 6 years has wanted a long-term, more stable relationship from me. I've received so many proposals, and thinking about that, I can see why. I have a job, I have a beautiful apartment, I have a great car, I have a great lifestyle, I travel a lot, I'm very social and very active within my community, so that makes me a very attractive as a partner. So I keep referring to my blog because I write a lot about my personal beliefs about men dating and how society views women, or how society tries to limit dating or opportunities for women. And the purpose of the goddessprinciples.net is really to empower women, to encourage them to try new things, stay away from tradition. It doesn't really serve us anymore. And exploration, or just having fun with dating and our lifestyle, is really an educational experience. I've learned so much for just not being afraid to try new things. And pretty much I see that, it's this youngest generation of women, much younger than me, but the millennials, who everybody criticizes so heavily, they actually are living exactly that goddess lifestyle. It's the youngest women who are much more likely to explore, much more likely to be fearless about relationships, much more likely to have a well-rounded lifestyle, simply because they don't want to be like their mothers. They don't want to live behind the white picket fence. They expect much more from life, and that's, in my opinion, very, very healthy. So that's all for today, in my opinion, on dating younger men. Please check me out on www.thegoddessprinciples.net. I've also posted some links below to all my social medias, and I would really love to hear from you. So please subscribe and post your comments below. I'd love to answer any of your questions on video soon. Talk to you later. Bye.